Write this down, please. Very important. Neutrality is not peace. Neutrality is permission. Silence is not harmless. Silence is a vote cast for whatever is destroying you. Tell your neighbor, silence is a choice. Again, tell them with authority, silence is a choice. The Bible says in Romans 3-4, let God be true and every man a liar. Keep your thinking to yourself if it opposes his word. Because Revelation 3:16 says, if you are lukewarm, he will spit you out. Neutral is lukewarm. Lukewarm is nauseating to heaven. Are you hearing me? You call it staying out of it. You label it minding my business. You perfume it with keeping the peace. But peace is not the absence of conflict. Peace is the presence of order. And order comes when truth is spoken and lines are drawn. Write this down. Neutrality is a decision, and every decision has a destiny attached to it. When you say nothing, you have already said something. When you do nothing, you have already done something. James 4:17 reads, if anyone knows the good they ought to do and doesn't do it, to them it is sin. Silence is not humility, it is rebellion disguised as courtesy. Wow. Destiny does not die by murder. It dies by neglect, slow, quiet, excused. A garden does not become a jungle by an axe. It becomes a jungle by silence with weeds. Your purpose does not collapse with noise. It corrodes in the quiet. When you convince yourself that delay is wisdom, that waiting is spirituality, that watching is safety. Write this down. Fear wears perfume and calls itself prudence. Are you sure? Do you understand? Listen carefully. This is not a motivational speech. This is a manufacturer's recall. The one who made you issued a voice with your model number. Proverbs 31:8 commands, open your mouth for the mute, for the rights of all who are destitute. Why would God command you to open your mouth? Because heaven assigned your sound to someone's survival. Silence is not neutral, it is negligent. Some of you are losing opportunities, relationships, nations, because your mouth is parked in neutral while evil drives in fifth gear. Let me confront you with love. You are not protecting peace, you are protecting fear. You are not avoiding conflict, you are avoiding courage. Write this down, please. Your tongue is the steering wheel of your life. If you don't turn it, you drift. Ezekiel 33 says, if the watchman sees the sword and does not blow the trumpet, the blood is on his hands. That's Bible. Let God be true. Keep your opinions quiet. This message will move you from explaining fear to practicing courage publicly and privately. Not noisy foolishness, but bold obedience. Not arguments, but announcements. Not gossip, but gospel. Tell your neighbor, I am leaving neutrality today. Announce it to yourself. My silence will no longer sponsor my sabotage. You were not born to find your purpose. You were born with your purpose. And from this moment, your mouth will stop protecting your comfort and start protecting your calling. Write this down, please. Very important. Silence is often not humility. It is unresolved identity. I have reduced human confusion to 5 questions. Write them down. Put them in your phone. Tattoo them on your mind. These 5 questions are the source of every problem the human faces. Who am I? Where am I from? Why am I here? What can I do? Where am I going? Until these are answered, your mouth will never match your mandate. Tell your neighbor, I am about to meet myself again. Number 1, who am I? That's identity. Genesis 1:26 says, let us make man in our image and likeness. You are not a mistake. You are an image bearer. 1 Peter 2:9 calls you a chosen generation, a royal priesthood. If you don't know who you are, you will keep quiet so nobody tests you. Silence becomes camouflage for confusion. That's why you wear other people's names on your chest. You are borrowing identity from brands because you refuse to carry the manufacturer's mark with confidence. Let God be true and trust no man. Keep your thinking to yourself if it contradicts his image. Number 2, where am I from? That's source. Jeremiah 1:5. Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Before you were born, I set you apart. Philippians 3:20 says, our citizenship is in heaven. If you believe you are from your neighborhood, you will speak at the level of your street. If you know you are from God, you speak at the level of your kingdom. Silence hides when it thinks it sprang from accidents and opinions. But products don't define their origin. The manufacturer does. They put their image last on the product to protect their reputation. So open your mouth to protect his. Number 3, why am I here? That's purpose. Proverbs 19:21 reads, many are the plans in a man's heart, but it is the Lord's purpose that will prevail. Purpose is more powerful than plans, more important than plans, precedes plans. When purpose is unclear, you stay neutral to avoid being wrong. When purpose is clear, you speak to establish order. Write this down. Assignment authorizes announcement. If God sent you, you are licensed to speak. Number 4, what can I do? That's potential. Ephesians 3:20. He is able to do exceedingly, abundantly, above all we ask or think, according to the power that works in us. Your future is trapped within you, but it needs your mouth to release it. Moses said, I can't speak. God replied, who made man's mouth? Exodus 4:11. Silence often masquerades as humility when it is really suspicion of your own capacity. Stop insulting your designer. Number 5, where am I going? That's destiny. Isaiah 46:10, I make known the end from the beginning. Paul declared, I have finished my course. 2 Timothy 4:7. Destiny speaks because it has a destination. If you don't know your where, you will be quiet everywhere. Write this down. Direction gives diction. Destiny clarifies vocabulary. Here is the diagnosis. Neutrality is identity poverty. When you don't know, you borrow. You borrow opinions from crowds. You borrow confidence from followers. You borrow courage from trends. You join gangs of silence to avoid the exam of truth. But today, announce your graduation. Say out loud, I am God's image. I am from His presence. I am here by purpose. I carry untapped ability. I am headed to my finished end. When these 5 are settled, your voice stops whispering to protect your image and starts declaring to protect His. Now, lean in and write this down, please. Very important. The last thing a manufacturer places on a product is their image. Not for decoration, but for reputation. Genesis 1:26, let us make man in our image and likeness. Psalm 23:3 says, He leads me in paths of righteousness for His name's sake. Manufacturers protect their name by protecting the function of their product. God protects His name by ensuring you perform what He designed. Do you hear me? That's why your silence is not cute. It's costly. When a product refuses to perform, the public does not blame the product. They blame the maker. Romans 2:24 declares, the name of God is blasphemed among the nations because of you. Wow. So here is the revelation. Your voice is not about your comfort. It's about His character in the earth. Tell your neighbor, I am carrying a brand. Let me take you to the factory floor. No product leaves the plant untested. They test the speaker, the mic, the alarm, the warning light. If the siren doesn't sound, they do not ship it. Heaven is a manufacturing center. Jeremiah 1-9. God says, I have put my words in your mouth. Ezekiel 3:17, Son of man, I have made you a watchman. Hear the word at my mouth and give them warning from me. A watchman without a voice is a broken alarm. Write this down. If God manufactured you with purpose, then withholding your voice is malfunction. You were built with a voice because your assignment requires a sound. Now the manual principle, please write this down. You don't ask the product what it was made to do. You ask the manufacturer. The manual is the maker's mind in print. 2 Timothy 3:16. All scriptures God breathed and profitable for teaching, rebuking, correcting, and training. That's a speaking manual. Stop letting culture become your manual. Keep your thinking to yourself if it opposes His word. Let God be true and every man a liar. The manual authorizes when to speak, what to speak, and how to speak. Jeremiah 1:12, I watch over my word to perform it. The warranty is on His word, not on your opinions. Hear me. Voice is not personality, it is function. Some of you were manufactured to correct, others to warn, some to build, to teach, to legislate, to create sound that orders chaos. Whether you are introverted or extroverted is irrelevant. A trumpet does not have moods, it has a purpose. Proverbs 31:8 commands, open your mouth for the mute. Purpose demands volume. If you refuse to open your mouth, you misrepresent the Maker and void your warranty benefits, because heaven only services what operates according to the manual. Isaiah 55:11, so shall my word be that goes forth out of my mouth. It shall not return to me void. If his word is in your mouth, your voice cannot return empty. Say it out loud right now. I carry the manufacturer's image. My silence misrepresents my Maker. Again with conviction. I carry the manufacturer's image. My silence misrepresents my Maker. This is not about noise. It's about names. Open your mouth to protect his. Write this down, please. Very important. The end was installed. Isaiah 46:10, God says, I declare the end from the beginning. He finishes before he starts. Your future is not ahead of you. Your future is trapped within you. You came with your end in your beginning. That is why your spirit gets agitated. When you are quiet too long, you are carrying a finished thing waiting for a voice print. Tell your neighbor, my end is already finished. Again, tell them with faith, my end is already finished. Now hear the connection. Destiny is internal, but it is activated externally. Romans 10:10 says, with the heart one believes unto righteousness, and with the mouth confession is made unto salvation. Belief is internal. Confession is external. Write this down. Nothing heaven installed moves in the earth until your mouth agrees. Proverbs 18:21, death and life are in the power of the tongue. Genesis 1 is not a silent chapter. It says, and God said, and God said, and God said. The manufacturer modeled activation by speech. Let God be true and every man a liar. Keep your thinking to yourself if it cancels his word. If the Creator moved creation by declaration, why are you expecting destiny to move by your silence? Let me rebuke you into courage. Praying for destiny while practicing silence is like owning a wrapped gift and putting it back under the tree every morning. It's like a phone with preloaded software you never activate because you won't press agree. Faith loads it. Declaration launches it. James 2:17, faith without works is dead. I add this principle. Faith without words is mute. Mark 11:23, whoever says to this mountain, be removed, and does not doubt, he will have whatever he says. Not whatever he thinks, whatever he says. Write this down. Imagination incubates destiny. Proclamation delivers it. Go back. What did you see first when you were a child? Before bills? Before critique? Before school graded your work? What did you see? A classroom you were commanding? A company with your name on the door? A nation you were reforming? A book with your signature? Who you really are is the thing you thought of first. Jesus said in Matthew 18:3, unless you become like little children, you will never enter the kingdom. Childhood was your preview, but fear trained you to mute it. Teachers told you be realistic. Family said don't embarrass us. Culture shouted stay in your lane. David's brother told him go back to the sheep, you proud boy. 1 Samuel 17:28. Fear is a tutor that promotes silence. Today we fire that teacher. Write this down, please. The enemy is not always opposition. Sometimes the enemy is your quiet agreement with delay. Neutral lips are signatures on contracts you never read. You call it waiting on God, but heaven is waiting on your announcement. Say out loud right now, I declare what God installed. I align my mouth with my mandate. I will speak my end into my environment. This is not motivation, this is activation. Your destiny doesn't need more time. It needs your tongue to testify to what God already finished. Write this down, please. Very important. The enemy of right is often good. Not evil, good. Good manners instead of righteous action. Politeness instead of prophetic truth. I don't want problems becomes your personal doctrine, and you worship at the altar of comfort. Let God be true and trust no man. Keep your thinking to yourself if it contradicts his word. Galatians 1:10 says, am I now seeking the approval of men or of God? If I was still trying to please men, I would not be a servant of Christ. People pleasing is moral paralysis with a smile. Hear me. Purpose was not designed for comfort. Jesus said in Matthew 10:34, I did not come to bring peace, but a sword, not violence, but division between truth and deception. Blessed are the peacemakers, not the peacekeepers, Matthew 5-9. Peacekeepers hide, peacemakers speak. Write this down. Neutrality is moral alignment. When order requires a voice and you choose silence, you have joined the side of disorder. Proverbs 24-11. 12 commands. Rescue those being led away to death. Hold back those staggering to the slaughter. If you say, but we knew nothing about this, does not he who weighs the heart perceive it? Heaven counts your quiet as consent. Let's bring it home. At work, you watch the supervisor shave hours from the cleaner's paycheck. You say nothing because I need this job. That is not wisdom. That is worship of bread. In the family, you know the sarcasm, the intimidation, the drink that turns dinners into war zones, and you label your silence honor. Eli called it honor too. 1 Samuel 3:13 says he failed to restrain his sons, and God judged his house. In the community, you see the school failing kids, the board making backroom deals, the street decaying because nobody wants to be that person. Your silence becomes the permit for decay. Write this down. When you do not speak against disorder, you volunteer to live under it. Do you understand? Purpose will not lie on your couch. Jeremiah said, I will not mention him or speak any more in his name, but his word was like fire shut up in my bones. Jeremiah 20-9. Fire does not negotiate with comforters. Paul confronted Peter to his face for the truth of the gospel. Galatians 2:11. That wasn't rude. That was right. Ephesians 4:15 says, speak the truth in love. Love is the motive. Truth is the method. Speech is the vehicle. Politeness without truth is partnership with decay. Tell your neighbor, I will not call cowardice wisdom again. Say it again like you mean it. I will not call cowardice wisdom again. Write this down. When good protects my image, right protects God's reputation. Choose which name you will defend. Announce it now. I choose right over good. I choose obedience over optics. I choose purpose over peacekeeping. This is your moral line in the sand. Silence is not neutral. It is a compromise you can no longer afford. Open your mouth. Not to argue, but to align. Not to perform, but to place truth where disorder has sat too long. Write this down, please. Very important. Planning without speaking is often fear pretending to be preparation. Proverbs 19:21. Many are the plans in a man's heart, but it is the Lord's purpose that will prevail. Extract the laws. Number one, purpose is more powerful than plans. Number two, purpose is more important than plans. Number three, purpose precedes plans. If the purpose of God is the engine, your plans are only the tires. They are useful but powerless without the motor. Let God be true and trust no man, including your favorite planner. Keep your thinking to yourself if it opposes his word. Do you know why silence loves planning? Because planning feels like progress without risk. Spreadsheets don't argue. Calendars don't confront. Notebooks don't reject you. As long as your vision is trapped in a binder, you can keep your image intact and your life unexamined. But the kingdom does not move on drafts. It moves on declarations. Jesus walked into the synagogue, unrolled the scroll, and said, the Spirit of the Lord is upon me to proclaim. Luke 4:18. He announced before he performed. Write this down. Speaking commits you to reality. Planning lets you rehearse reality without responsibility. Some of you are professional learners and private dreamers. You attend the seminar, buy the course, highlight the book, redesign the logo, rearrange the office again. You are busy but not bold. You are educated beyond your obedience. Habakkuk 2:2 says, write the vision and make it plain that they may run who read it. You wrote it, but you hid it. Vision is not written to be archived. It is written to be announced so runners can run. You keep calling research what heaven calls retreat. Write this down. When purpose is unclear, plans multiply to manage your fear. Purpose over plans means you submit your blueprint to the builder. James 4:15 says, you ought to say, if the Lord wills, we will do this or that. Not if my followers like it. Not if my manager approves. But if the Lord wills. Purpose precedes plans. So until you ask the manufacturer why he made you, your plans are decorating a house you were never sent to build. The last thing a manufacturer stamps on a product is their image. They do it for their name's sake. Your success protects his reputation, so your silence about his purpose misrepresents his brand. Tell your neighbor, I am done hiding in planning. Say it like a leader. I am done hiding in planning. Write this down. Once plans bow to purpose, your mouth must open and your feet must move. Announce the mandate, then schedule the movement. Call the meeting and state the mission. Tell the client what you carry. Teach the first lesson. Pitch the proposal. Start the ministry information session. Planning is not evil. It is incomplete without proclamation. The plan organizes the path. The proclamation authorizes the start. Announce this over your life. My plans submit to purpose. My speech aligns with my assignment, and my actions will testify that I believe. You are not born to find your purpose. You were born with your purpose. Don't look for employment. Look for deployment. After this moment, no more silent preparation that never becomes public obedience. Purpose has the microphone now. And when purpose speaks, destiny begins to move. Write this down, please. Very important. Your job is what they pay you to do. Your work is what you were born to do. Your job is your skill. Your work is your gift. You can be fired from your job. You can never be fired from your work. You retire from your job. You cannot retire from your work, because your work is your assignment from God. Jesus never said, I must do the job of him who sent me. He said, I must work the works of him who sent me while it is day. John 9:4. Colossians 3:23 says, whatever you do, do it heartily as to the Lord. That verse elevates work above wage, assignment above approval. Tell your neighbor, my work is bigger than my job. Now, here's the diagnosis. Silence is the friend of employment, but the enemy of deployment. Jobs reward compliance. Keep your head down. Color inside the lines. Don't rock the boat. Don't mention the mandate. HR loves your quiet. Algorithms promote your neutrality. But work requires conviction, creativity, and courage. Work calls you to open your mouth and state your assignment. Luke 4:18. Jesus stood up and said, the Spirit of the Lord is upon me to proclaim. He announced before he performed. Write this down. Silence protects your paycheck while sabotaging your purpose. Proverbs 18:16 declares a man's gift makes room for him and brings him before great men. But gifts don't make rooms by hiding in cubicles. Rooms are made when gifts are revealed, articulated, demonstrated. Deployment demands visibility and responsibility. If you won't speak, you will never be deployed. Let me press this with love. Many of you are sick because you are silent. Psalm 32:3 says, when I kept silent, my bones wasted away. That's the Bible. The migraines that arrive every Sunday night. The ulcer that flares every Monday morning. The phrase you keep repeating, this job is killing me. That is your work suffocating under the blanket of compliance. Jonah bought a ticket to an opposite direction, and his quiet rebellion created a storm. Jonah 1. Some of you are paying for tickets away from Nineveh every week, overtime, to avoid obedience. And the tempest is not satanic, it is systemic. You are enraged at supervisors because you have muzzled your stewardship. You resent meetings because they gag your message. Write this down. Resentment grows where assignment is unspoken. Let me liberate you with structure. Don't look for employment. Look for deployment. Destiny is assignment, not a salary. Paul had a job, he made tents, but his work was to preach the gospel. He said, woe is me if I do not preach 1 Corinthians 9:16. Use your job to finance your work. Never use your work to decorate your job. Announce this right now. My job is my sponsor. My work is my mandate. Say it again like a leader. My job is my sponsor. My work is my mandate. Luke 2:49. Jesus said, I must be about my Father's business. Father's business is deployment language. 1 Peter 4:10 says each one should use whatever gift he has received to serve others. Use means express. Express means speak. Your gift cannot serve in silence. So here is the turning point. Stop hiding behind policy to avoid purpose. Speak your assignment and let it locate your deployment. Tell your neighbor, this place is my temporary employment. Say it louder. This place is my temporary employment. Write this down, please. Very important. When your voice aligns with your work, God will align rooms with your gift. Visible gifts receive viable assignments. Open your mouth, not to insult your job, but to introduce your work. When you speak, deployment begins. Write this down, please. Very important. Silence is usually fear managing your life through hidden anxieties. The soul has a committee, and the chair of that committee, if you let it, is fear. I want to expose the trilogy tonight. Fear of rejection, fear of loss, fear of exposure. These three train your neutrality until you become a professional at saying nothing and calling it maturity. Let God be true and trust no man. Keep your thinking to yourself if it opposes his word. Proverbs 29:25 says, the fear of man brings a snare. A snare is quiet. It holds you without headlines. That is what fear has done to your mouth. Number one, fear of rejection, people. You have become a hostage to faces. John 12:42 says, many believed in Jesus but would not confess him for fear of the Pharisees. They love praise from men more than praise from God. Wow. You call it diplomacy. Heaven calls it idolatry. Write this down. When crowd approval is your oxygen, truth becomes your allergy. You adjust your message to match their mood. You postpone obedience until your followers applaud. That is not wisdom. That is worship of opinions. Jeremiah 1:8. Do not be afraid of their faces, for I am with you. The manufacturer's presence is your validation, not the marketplace's applause. Number two, fear of lost position. You stay silent to secure a seat. Saul spared what God said to destroy to keep faith with the people, and he lost the kingdom. 1 Samuel 15. Pilate washed his hands to keep Rome quiet and delivered truth to a cross. John 19:12-16. Write this down. Any position you must disobey God to protect is already in foreclosure. Psalm 75:6-7 declares promotion comes neither from the east nor the west, but God is the judge. He puts down one and sets up another. Matthew 6:33. Seek first the kingdom and his righteousness. Speak right to keep right. God holds the chair, not your silence. Number three, fear of exposure. Truth. This is the deepest. Adam said, I was afraid because I was naked, so I hid. Genesis 3:10. Hiding is the first language of fallen man. You don't speak because your speech would require integrity. You know if you say it, you must live it. So you mute to protect your contradictions. But 1 John 1-9 says, if we confess our sins, he is faithful and just to forgive and to cleanse. John 8:32, you shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. Write this down. Fear is a thief of speech. It steals your tongue so it can keep your chains. Let me anchor your identity. You are not validated by crowds. You are validated by the manufacturer. The last thing a manufacturer places on a product is their image. They do it for their name's sake. Isaiah 43:1. Fear not, for I have redeemed you. I have called you by name. You are mine. Ownership eliminates audition. If you are his, you are not applying for permission to speak. Your warranty requires function. Heaven's service is what operates according to the manual. Jeremiah 1-9, behold, I have put my words in your mouth. That is not a suggestion. That is an installation. Bridge to healing. Before you speak publicly, settle privately. Who owns your life? 1 Corinthians 6:19-20 says, you are not your own. You were bought with a price. Ownership determines voice. A spokesperson does not invent messages. A spokesperson delivers the owner's mind. Close the door tonight and resign from the committee of fear. Say, Lord, I renounce the fear of faces. You own me. I release the fear of loss. You promote me. I expose my secrets to your light. You cleanse me. Then read Psalm 27 aloud. The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? When ownership is settled, courage is no longer a personality. It is obedience. And obedience opens your mouth. Write this down, please. Very important. Courageous speech is a discipline, not a personality trait. Obedience opens your mouth. Now formation must govern your words. Boldness is not noise. It is accuracy. Ecclesiastes 3:7 says, there is a time to be silent and a time to speak. James 1:19, be quick to hear, slow to speak, slow to wrath. Proverbs 10:19 warns, in the multitude of words, sin is not lacking. Hear me, volume without vision is vandalism. Silence when truth is due is treason. Purpose-driven speech is timely, targeted, and true. Let me give you the order of kingdom speech. Write this down. Think, align, then speak. Number one, think. Luke 6:45 says, out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. So fix the heart so the mouth has clean inventory. Number two, align. Colossians 4:6, let your speech be always with grace, seasoned with salt. Alignment asks, does this agree with the manual? Isaiah 50:4, he awakens my ear that I should know how to speak a word in season. Number three, speak. Once your mind is renewed and your purpose is clear, open your mouth on schedule and on assignment. Keep your thinking to yourself if it contradicts his word. Let God be true and every man a liar. Correct these extremes. Some of you talk too much with no assignment. James 3:5 says the tongue is a small member, yet it boasts great things. An undisciplined tongue is a wildfire that burns your credibility. Others of you have a clear assignment, but stay quiet. That is a mute alarm in a burning house. Ezekiel 3:17. Son of man, I have made you a watchman. Hear the word at my mouth and give them warning from me. A watchman who whispers when sirens are required is malfunctioning. Write this down. Chatter without calling is clanging. Calling without clarity is cowardice. Both are dysfunction. Formation begins in private. Psalm 141:3. Set a guard, O Lord, over my mouth. Matthew 12:36 says, men will give account for every idle word. So here is your practice. Every morning before you speak to people, speak to your purpose. Put your hand on your chest and confess. Say it out loud now. I am deployed for my generation. I will not hide. My mouth is an instrument of the King. I speak truth in love. I declare only what aligns with his manual, my mandate, and this moment. My words are clean. My timing is wise. My tone is grace. I am bold, not brash, precise, not passive, in Jesus' name. Do it daily until your mouth learns your mission. Give your words 3 gates. Write this down. Is it in the manual? Is it in my mandate? Is it for this moment? If it fails any gate, be quiet and adjust your heart. If it passes all 3, speak and then move. Because speech without action is performance. Action without speech is invisibility. James 2:17, faith without works is dead. 1 John 3:18, let us not love in word or tongue, but in deed and in truth. After you declare, schedule the deed, announce the class, then teach the first lesson, proclaim the standard, then live it in private. Tell your neighbor, mastery before megaphones. Announce over yourself, my private integrity will qualify my public boldness. This is discipline. This is formation. This is how a tongue becomes a tool in the hand of God. Write this down, please. Very important. Silence does not protect you. It invites misassignment. 1 Corinthians 14:8. For if the trumpet give an uncertain sound, who shall prepare himself to the battle? An unclear trumpet makes soldiers targets. An unspoken identity makes you easy prey. Let God be true and trust no man. Keep your thinking to yourself if it argues with this word. Silence is not peacekeeping. It is permission for confusion to patrol your life. Social dynamics 101. If you don't announce who you are, someone else will name you, use you, and package you. Genesis 2:19 says, whatever Adam called each creature, that was its name. Naming is authority. Daniel 1:7 says the chief of the eunuchs gave Daniel and his friends new names. Babylon always renames before it reassigns. When you keep quiet about your mandate, culture will script your part, costume you for its play, and pay you with applause while stealing your assignment. Write this down. Unspoken purpose becomes public property. Manufacturer, again, this will help you. In any store, unlabeled products get shelved in the back or tossed into the clearance bin. Labeled products get placed in the right aisle, priced correctly, and guarded against counterfeits. Why? The image and the words on the label instruct the retailer where to place the product and how to treat it. You are the product of heaven. The last thing the manufacturer stamped on you was his image, and he gave you a manual to define your function. If you withhold your label, your declared assignment, you authorize the world to shelf you anywhere. Write this down. When you do not define yourself, life misfiles you. Say it. If I don't define my purpose, society will assign me a function. Silence makes you easy to control and simple to reinterpret. Bosses love your hush when they need a scapegoat. Systems prefer your quiet when they need a compliant cog. Predators select silent prey. 1 Peter 5-8 says, your adversary, the devil, prowls like a roaring lion, seeking whom he may devour. May permission language. Neutral lips sign the permission slip. Esther 4:14 warned, if you remain silent at this time, you and your father's house will perish. Silence is not neutral. It is negligence with consequences. Your voice is protection. Proverbs 29-18, where there is no vision, the people cast off restraint. Vision must be voiced or there are no boundaries. Joshua 24-15, as for me and my house, we will serve the Lord. That is protective speech. That sentence built a fence around his family. Fathers, mothers, leaders, open your mouth and set the standard. Deuteronomy 6-7 says, teach these words diligently to your children. Talk of them when you sit, when you walk, when you lie down, when you rise. Talk. Why? Because declared truth becomes a wall against deception. In business, announce your ethics before the deal. In relationships, state your values before the pressure. In ministry, proclaim the mandate before the meeting. Write this down. Boundaries are built by sentences. Tell your neighbor, I am not a target, I am a trumpet. Announce it again. My mouth is my boundary. David stood before Goliath and said, you come to me with sword, but I come to you in the name of the Lord. 1 Samuel 17:45. His declaration dismantled intimidation and defined the battle on God's terms. Do likewise from tonight. Define or be defined. Label or be mislabeled. Declare or be deployed by someone else's agenda. Silence does not keep you safe. It paints a bullseye. Your speech draws the border, guards the house, and aligns your life with the right aisle. Open your mouth and end the misassignment. Write this down, please. Very important. Declarations are not motivation. They are commitments that force movement. 2 Corinthians 4:13 says, I believed, therefore I have spoken. Belief that doesn't speak is still negotiating. Romans 10:10, with the heart one believes, and with the mouth confession is made unto salvation. Confession is not a cheer, it is a covenant that obligates your calendar. Let God be true and trust no man. Keep your thinking to yourself if it contradicts his word. Tonight we break neutrality with 3 declarations, and we attach each to behavior, so heaven and earth know you are serious. Number 1, say it out loud. I will not be neutral about my purpose. Again, louder. I will not be neutral about my purpose. Now attach it one conversation you must have. Within 24 hours, schedule a face-to-face or a call with the person whose agreement or clarity your assignment requires. Tell your supervisor, my gift is X. I will serve with excellence, but I cannot violate these values. Tell your spouse, our home will be aligned with this mandate. Tell your pastor, mentor, or team, here is my assignment. Hold me accountable. 1 Timothy 6:12 says, you made the good confession in the presence of many witnesses. Destiny requires witnesses. Conversations create covenants. Covenants create courage. Write this down. Purpose must be heard to be honored. Number 2, declare it. I choose right over comfort. Again, I choose right over comfort. Now attach it one boundary you must set. Put it in writing, in your calendar, and in your mouth. Announce office hours that protect your work. State the no-go zones in your relationships. No gossip, no backdoor deals, no secret sin in this house. Post a code for your business ethics before the next deal. Proverbs 4:23, guard your heart with all diligence. Guarding is a boundary word. Joshua 24:15, choose this day. Choices become fences. Write this down. A boundary is holiness in a sentence. Number 3, prophesy it. I am deployed, not just employed. One more time. I am deployed, not just employed. Now attach it one action you must start. Before 48 hours end, do the first deed that matches your declaration. File the registration, send the proposal, teach the first online lesson, host the interest meeting, record the first episode, book the venue. 1 Peter 4:10, use whatever gift you have received. Use means act. Habakkuk 2 to 2, write it so they can run. Now run. Schedule it in ink, not in feelings. Your job is your sponsor. Your work is your mandate move. Public alignment now. Tell 3 people who can witness and war with you. Text your accountability partner, the time of the call, the line you would draw, and the action you would take. Post 1 sentence of your standard where your team can see it. 2 Corinthians 13:1. Every matter must be established by the testimony of 2 or 3 witnesses. Witnesses turn declarations into jurisdictions. Normalize the pushback. When you speak, resistance will appear. That's not a sign to retreat. It's an x-ray of what was feeding on your silence. 1 Corinthians 16:9. A great and effective door has opened to me, and there are many adversaries. Nehemiah built with a trowel and a sword. Keep building and keep speaking. The manufacturer put his image on you. Your warranty requires function, not hush. Tell your neighbor, conversation, boundary, action, now. Say it again. Conversation, boundary, action, now. We move from inspiration to instructions next, because destiny responds to systems. Your mouth has signed the contract. Your schedule will now honor it. You are not neutral. You are right over comfortable, and you are deployed. Now let's organize your obedience. Now we organize your obedience. Destiny is not located by feelings. It is constructed by schedules. Write this down, please. Very important. Feelings are seasonal, but disciplines are eternal. James 1:22. Be doers of the word and not hearers only. For the next 7 days, you will convert courage into calendar, truth into task, and mandate into minutes. Day 1 identity, audit. Take 1 hour with a pen and the manual. Write the 5 questions and answer them honestly. Who am I? Where am I from? Why am I here? What can I do? Where am I going? Don't perform. Be true. Psalm 139:23. Search me, O God. Ask the Holy Spirit to highlight where silence has been hiding you, at work, meetings, in family conversations, in moral decisions. Name the rooms where you went quiet and why. Write this down. Truth is the key that unlocks your mouth. Day 2, work versus job. On 1 page, write my job, paid to do, and my work, born to do. Under job, list your tasks. Under work, list your gift. Circle the gift. Now write 1 step to honor your work this week while you keep honoring your job. It could be a 30-minute teaching online, a prototype, a chapter, a rehearsal. Colossians 3:23. Whatever you do, do it heartily as to the Lord. Say it. My job is my sponsor. My work is my mandate. Proverbs 18:16. A man's gift makes room for him. Gifts don't open rooms in silence. Day 3, purpose, sentence, and confession. Draft a 1-sentence purpose statement beginning with I exist to. Make it plain. Habakkuk 2 to 2. Write the vision. Then speak it to 1 trusted person before the day ends. Romans 10:10. With the mouth confession is made. Luke 4:18. Jesus announced before he performed. Your sentence is the ignition. Your confession is the key turn. Day 4, address the avoided. Choose 1 unresolved conflict or injustice you've been dodging. Go in humility and clarity, calm, clear, truthful. Matthew 18:15. Go to your brother. If you owe an apology, give it. Matthew 5:23-24. Leave the gift and be reconciled. If a wrong needs naming, name it with grace and firmness. Micah 6-8. Do justly, love mercy, walk humbly. Write this down, please. Very important. Peace without truth is a truce with decay. Day 5, replace planning with proof. Produce 1 artifact of obedience today. A page written, a call made, an application sent, a recording captured, a proposal delivered, an apology documented. James 2:18. Show me your faith by your works. Proof silences fear's committee. 2 Timothy 1-7. God has not given you a spirit of fear, but of power. Power moves. Day 6, serve your gift publicly, small and real. Don't wait for a stadium. Take a living room. Teach 10, coach 3, volunteer 1 hour, lead a prayer, correct a process, build a draft. 1 Peter 4:10, use whatever gift you have received to serve others. Matthew 5:16, let your light shine before men. Light is not shy, it shows up. Day 7, review, refine, repeat. Sit with your week. What did you learn about your fear, your voice, your assignment? Keep what worked, adjust what dragged. Then schedule next week's 3 non-negotiables. 1 conversation, 1 boundary, 1 action. Joshua 1-8, meditate day and night. Then you will make your way prosperous. Psalm 90-12, teach us to number our days. Write this down. Rhythm protects revelation. From today, silence is a choice, not a prison. Tell your neighbor, I exit silence by schedule. Say it again. I build destiny by obedient, scheduled action. Now put it in the calendar and move. Write this down, please. Very important. Neutrality is not peace. It is permission. When you went quiet, you signed a release form for decay. Silence is not humility. It is malfunction of a product built with a voice. Destiny is internal, but it is activated externally through courageous declaration. Then action confirms what your mouth committed. Proverbs 19:21 says, many are the plans in a man's heart, but the Lord's purpose will prevail. Purpose over plans. Announce it, then align it, then act on it. Romans 10:10, with the mouth confession is made. James 2:18, show me your faith by your works. Say it with me. My confession commits my calendar. I feel heaven's identification in this room. There is a leader in this house. There is a builder in this house. There is a reformer in this house. The manufacturer stamped his image on you last because he was satisfied with the product. First, it left the factory, tested and approved for his name's sake. Isaiah 46:10, he declares the end from the beginning. Write this down. You came with your end in your beginning. Jeremiah 1-5, before I formed you, I ordained you. You were not born to find your purpose. You were born with your purpose. Tell your neighbor, I won the race before I began. Now open your mouth and run on schedule. Receive this rebuke with love and this blessing with fire. You are too valuable to be quiet. Your destiny is too expensive to be postponed. Esther 4:14. If you remain silent now, relief will arise from another place, but you and your father's house will perish. Silence is bankruptcy. But if you speak truth and move an assignment, angels become logistics. Paul said, I have fought a good fight. I have finished my cause. 2 Timothy 4-7. Finishers are not the fastest. They are the most faithful. Faithfulness requires a mouth that declares and feet that follow. Let God be true and trust no man if he argues with this. Announce your assignment. Align your habits. Act today. Heaven recognizes sound trumpets. Move walls in Joshua 6. Your generation is waiting on your mouth to open. Lift your head and prophesy over yourself. I am not a target. I am a trumpet. Tell your neighbor, I am not dying silent. I will finish my cause. Again, louder. I am not dying silent. I will finish my cause. Now lock it with deployment language. Go home and speak, announce, align, act. Announce who you are and why you are here in one sentence. Align your schedule to protect that sentence with one boundary. Act with one deed that proves the sentence is law in your life. Joshua 1-8, meditate day and night. Then you will make your way prosperous. Habakkuk 2-2, write the vision, make it plain so you can run. 1 Corinthians 9:16, woe is me if I preach not. Woe is me if I do not declare and do my assignment. Your destiny doesn't need more time. It needs your courage to speak and move. The king backs his product. Mark 16:20. The Lord worked with them and confirmed the word. Heaven backs purpose. From this moment, your mouth is your mandate and your motion is your proof. Now open your mouth, set your boundary, take your step, and finish your cause.